You got questions, we got answers. It is time to touch our bags and drop our sack on this mailbag edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. This mailbag segment comes from our Wednesday live show where you guys submit questions to us in real time. We react to them. And you may be wondering, how can I be a part of your next mailbag show? Well, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, set them to all, and you'll be the first to know when we have new content here on Seahawks Today, whether it's a watch party, a live show, a rumors video, breaking news, you will know when we have that new content out. Subscribe now, turn on notifications, stay up to date. If you're part of the Noti Gang, those are the folks that have the notifications turned on. Spam Noti Gang in the comment section. We'll get started with today's show. Tyler, great name, writes in, if Seattle gets more help at defensive line, how far do you see us going this season? Tyler, thanks for that $5 super chat. Much appreciated. You know, I don't see them getting more help. I could see them potentially getting another edge rusher. But as far as pure down linemen, I think they're going to roll with what they got. I think that right now the Seahawks are about a 9 or 10 win team. I think they're looking at going to the playoffs. But if they invest in a big-time edge rusher like a Hassan Reddick type, then who knows? Maybe it's 11, 12-plus wins potentially. But I think they're going to roll with what they got. They'll be about 9 or 10 wins. Tyler, thanks for the super chat. Phobia with a $5 super chat writes in, with the extra cap money we have, would it be wise to save it for the trade deadline in case of injuries? Well, here's the deal, Phobia. When you look at the regular season, the wins week 1 to the trade deadline count the same as the wins from the trade deadline to week 18. So if I'm the Seattle Seahawks, if I'm John Schneider and Mike Macdonald, if there's a player out there that I want, I go get them now. I'm trying to stack up wins, stack those pennies to begin the season. I'm not waiting around till the trade deadline to make this team better. Now, you could still reevaluate things, and maybe you make a move at the trade deadline, but I wouldn't be waiting around. I would try to put your best foot forward when the season starts right away, as far as I'm concerned, Fulvio. But it's a very good question. Daniel writes in, I personally don't like the Jenkins signing, and he's not playing like a starter. I think he means Kobe Bryant here. With Kobe playing great, do you think Kobe will beat out Jenkins? First off, this feels slanderous to me because I have been a fan of Rayshon Jenkins ever since he signed. I thought he was a natural fit for this Seahawks team. He's a turnover machine. We saw it there in Jacksonville. I think he's going to do a great job as one of the starting safeties. I think he's going to have a similar season what Julian Love did last year. So, Daniel, I don't know what you're talking about as far as benching Rayshon Jenkins goes. It's not happening. But as far as Kobe Bryant goes, as we told you earlier this week here on the channel, I think that the Seahawks, Mike Macdonald, wants to play 3+ safeties at times in this Seahawks defense. And then that would open up a role for Kobe Bryant potentially in this Seahawks defense. So that's what I see happening. I don't think Rayshon's getting benched, but I think there's a potential opportunity for an expanded role for Kobe Bryant. He looked good in that first preseason game. If he continues to play like that, then yeah, you'll see more Kobe Bryant as far as I'm concerned. Gino Truther writes in, all I hear about is Devon Witherspoon. Do we need to simmer down expectations a bit? Well, he kind of had a reality check on Wednesday in joint practice where he struggled. It wasn't his day, but it's not always going to be your day, right? Devon Witherspoon, I think, is a fantastic football player. I think he's going to have a great year once again. And no, I disagree. I do not think we should simmer down expectations. I think when we talk about him being a captain and a defensive player of the year contender and one of the best corners in football, all of that is up for discussion. He's Mike Macdonald's favorite player. He's become the leader of this defense. And think about this. Those numbers that you see on your screen right now, he did that in 14 games. He's made it his goal. He's made a point. He wants to play all 17 this year. So Devon Witherspoon, that's another year older, that's got his eyes set on playing in all 17 games. Sky's the limit for this guy. I think he's the best player on this defense. What do you guys think? Is Devon Witherspoon the best player on this Seahawks defense right now? Y for yes, in for no, weigh in. Let us know. Do you agree with me that he's the best player, or do you think it's someone else? Let us know in the comments section. All right, next one from Board Skyler wants to know, do you think Byron Murphy has the chance to get Defensive Rookie of the Year when he doesn't typically get flashy stats? I appreciate you guys. Skyler, we appreciate you. Now, I'll say this, Board Skyler. Winning Defensive Player of the Year as a defensive tackle is very difficult. It's much easier to win Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, that is, when you're playing edge rusher or, if you're playing defensive back. It's a hard award to win as an interior defensive lineman. So as much as I like Byron Murphy, and I have high hopes, I think he's going to have a great season, I think that it's going to be hard for him because the stats aren't going to be comparable to some of those other guys out there. So, no, I don't think he'll win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think he can have a very similar season to what Jalen Carter did last year in Philly, which I would gladly take. But Defensive Rookie of the Year, it's an award at the end of the day. It's not going to define him. This is a long-term thing. I want him to go to Pro Bowls. I want him to be an All-Pro. I want him to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year down the line. So I'm not going to lose sleep whether he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year or not. I just want to see him play at a high level. So, no, I don't think he will, but I think he'll play good. Brian Bosworth, the Boz, says, how important is Leonard Williams to this team? Did the Seahawks overpay him? So that's been an ongoing talking point that I've seen from Seahawk fans for much of this offseason. Did they overpay Leonard Williams? Did they overpay Noah Fant? And my answer is no, they did not, because they have to live with this of the trade they made to trade for Leonard Williams, giving up a second and a fifth. There was no going back at this point. You made a decision that you had to pay Leonard Williams, that you had to do whatever it takes to keep him in town. So I think he's crucial. I saw an article this week talking about that he's got a chance one day, I kid you not, to be a Hall of Famer. I think he's still got a ways to go before that discussion, but it's not completely impossible. And the money, it's just the nature of doing business in this league. That's what the Seahawks signed up for. So, no, I don't think they overpaid him. He was one of the best players in the Seahawks defense last year. Remember, he played one more game in the regular season than everyone else did in the National Football League. The first player since 1930 to play 18 games. That's stability. That's durability. Leonard Williams, I'm excited about what he's got this year. Did the Seahawks overpay Leonard Williams? I don't think they did. What do you think? Type HY for hell yes, HN for hell no. Get your responses in the comments section. Got a great deal we're offering. We mentioned Byron Murphy earlier. We got his jerseys on sale now, chatsports.com/Murphy. Men's and women's options. Got the home, the away, the alternate throwback uniform. Just add a 9 to that one. Go to chatsports.com/Murphy to get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Free shipping available as well, chatsports.com/Murphy. Got time for about 2 more questions here. Chefferton writes in, do you think people are underestimating the strength of the Hawks' schedule this year? The Pats, Jets, Falcons, Cards are all vastly improved teams from last year. I think the Pats are not improved. I think the Pats are much worse, and they just lost Matthew Judon. Falcons are improved. Cards are improved, but I don't think they're that great. And think about this. The Seahawks are facing, I think, almost every rookie quarterback. I know J.J. McCarthy's out for the year, but they face Bo Nix, Drake May, Caleb Williams, and among others. I think the schedule's very manageable, honestly speaking. And you look at the first couple of weeks, playing teams like the Broncos and the Patriots, I'm not going to sit here and complain about the schedule. I think the thing that worries me is not even so much the teams. It's they have not won but 2 Thursday night games this year. That's what's not fair, is having to play on Thursday night twice and how that messes with your schedule and your routine and all that. So for me, I think the schedule's manageable. But with that said, I think they'll be okay. I think they will be okay. JZ Vids with the last question this week says, do you think DK needs to prove himself to be a top 10 wide receiver this year? And if he doesn't, should we start looking for a trade? I mean, what is it we're wanting more of from DK? He's getting 1,100 yards every year. He's getting about 8 touchdowns every year. His yards per catch is solid. The only thing I really want to see him do different is not get called for personal fouls. I want to see him contain his emotion a bit. It's the other guys. Like, we need JSN to step up. We want a little more Bobo. We want Noah Fant to step up. DK's not a problem. I have no problem paying DK. I think DK's fine. It's the other guys that I want to see more of. Just, kind of reel it in a little bit, DK, and I have no problems paying you for many years to come. Thanks for joining us here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now. Got a watch party coming up on Saturday night. We will see you then, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great day.